People would typically describe our work as being a very broad range. We really try to gauge every single project and design it specifically for the client. In all of our projects, we're incredibly detail-oriented. The smallest details make the biggest impact. Scale, balance, we are not afraid to use bold color or mix patterns, mix finishes. Being from New Orleans, I always try to sneak a gas lantern in there somewhere. Eddie Maestri, I'm an architect and designer with Maestri Studio Architecture and Interior Design. We're based in Dallas, Texas. We do projects all throughout North Texas. We have projects in Las Vegas right now, Tennessee, Oklahoma, and in New York. Today we are at my home in Dallas, Texas, Villa Cali. We had been looking for a new house for quite a while. We have twin boys who are now 9 years old. We found this house randomly on Trulia one day. The best part about it, it was completely untouched since it was built in 1971. And the biggest thing that we wanted to do was to pay homage to the original design intent. I started with images that I've saved for years, from publications, from Pinterest, from magazines, the things that we love. A lot of our existing furniture just seemed to fit exactly here, like it was always meant to be. This is our living room, so it's kind of a formal living room. Having kids, we really wanted a space that we could go to as adults and entertain. And we wanted a space that we could live in without a television. This room was perfect. You know, the volume of the room was just a really nice scale, the abundance of light. So we kept, for the most part, all of the original details throughout: the terrazzo, the rock fireplace, the original handrail. The kids will come in here and read, do their music lessons, and when we entertain, it's where everybody gathers. So we have another room upstairs, that's another family room, and that's an area where we will watch TV as a family. We'll do family game night. We'll occasionally eat up there in front of the TV. I wanted it to be a space that felt cozy, more inviting, a little bit more whimsy. Another low ceiling of 8 feet, so we did the high gloss lacquer on the ceiling in there as well. I wanted this space to feel cozy and inviting, and I really wanted to take advantage of the walls to display different art pieces that we've collected over the years. Some of it we collect on travels, and also little pieces that just are important to us. So of course you have to have a television in the space, and I really didn't like the way that just a regular television looks. So we incorporated the Samsung Frame TV and hung it on the wall, and it really still did not have the impact. So I found this clever add-on, which we bought on Amazon, which is a frame that just goes right over the television, and it actually sticks right on there with a magnet, and I think it makes it look exactly like the gallery wall we intended. For the dining room, I really wanted it to have a little bit of a throwback to New Orleans. It has this really big long wall that is on the front of the house, again with no windows, and I felt that the space, even though it was large, it felt somewhat confined and dark. So a solution for that space was to apply antique mirror across the entire wall. And we wanted to have the space feel more warm, so we hung art over the antique mirror. We have an original cove above the table that had these really old, gross lights in it. I did some wallpaper up there from Hagen West. We did a motif of birds and clouds, and I thought it'd be a really nice surprise. We use that light all the time. It almost feels like a skylight. We have a china closet, which we didn't even know existed the first few times we had been in the house. It has all the original cabinets in there with the hardware for storing things like plates, napkins, everything that you would otherwise need in a china cabinet, which I did not want. We did a super cool wallpaper by Pierre Frey of a beautiful crystal glassware throughout the space. I went through tons of 1970s kitchen design books. It's a lot of pattern on pattern on pattern, and I just decided to run with it. Love the volume of that space. very high ceiling, it's 11 feet. I wanted to wallpaper the cove with a Fornacetti paper that I've loved for years. We did a very sculptural island base piece in yellow, which is such a happy, fun color. And it really was a way to bring a pop of color in there that would be a good juxtaposition against all the existing walnut. We kept as much of the walnut as we could. We kind of reconfigured everything, and the goal was when it all got put back together, we wanted it to feel fairly original. For the breakfast room, we use daily, of course, for breakfast, and then, dinner as a family. The kids will do homework in there. It's one of the only rooms in the house with an 8-foot ceiling. So I decided to do a white lacquer on the ceiling to really reflect the light that comes in on both sides. A super shiny Italian tile on the floor, and then also bringing in the white lacquer table as well. The wallpaper was inspired by the original paper that was on the wall. It was a grass cloth. I didn't necessarily want grass cloth in there with kids and dirty hands, so we went with a paper that kind of paid homage to that original intent. When we renovated the home, we had original, just simple hollow core doors throughout, and I thought they were just absolutely terrible. So we knew we wanted to change the doors throughout the entire house. This is from True Style. It has a little bit of that 1960s, 70s vibe. I'm really big on texture, and this was absolutely perfect for the space. We did the door itself in a semi-gloss black to really highlight the design, and we think it was a really good addition to the home. So my office is probably the best view in the whole house. It was a space that originally was intended to be the kids' playroom. I vetoed that. I said, no, this is going to be my space. So I created what we call the studio. I can work in there, but it's also a space where the kids can feel at home enough to come in, do art projects, spread out on the floor. We have a wall unit in there that's full of vintage toys. So it's my office, but it's an area, for more creativity, so we call it the studio. So we are now in a room that we call the cabana. It's a sitting area that's right off the primary suite, and it overlooks the backyard with these floor-to-ceiling windows. Perfect spot for Texas when it gets too hot to really be outside and enjoy the area. So we wanted the room to feel very indoor-outdoor. I did the tinting on the ceiling to really kind of bring in the detail of the canvas awnings that we have outside, and also to tie in the black and white theme that we have on the hall ceiling. We also have the cabana drapery on the front porch. So it was a nice way to make the space feel a little bit more sophisticated, but also very indoor-outdoor. Because we have all these big windows on this side of the room, the rest of the room felt to me very off balance. So I wanted to do something that really felt more like a panorama without art. So we did this wall paneling detail. It has a little bit of a fun edge to it. Again, the space is a higher volume, so it kind of reminded me of growing up in New Orleans. I wanted it to feel a little bit more like an older house in here. So we did the wall paneling, and then I did the wallpaper mural on the inserts to give it the feel that the entire space was outdoors. The primary bedroom, when we first looked at the house, was an incredibly dark room, even though it's a very high ceiling and a large room in itself, but it was just very dark. So I did a mylar on the ceiling to basically give the room more volume. And there's a cove around the room that has LED lights in there. That was an opportunity to uplight that mylar to make it feel even larger, but also it was good lighting for watching a movie at night or waking up in the morning with nothing too harsh. We do have a set of sliding doors on the room, but they don't go wall to wall. So we did a creative solution there by installing wall-to-wall drapery to give it the illusion that there is wall-to-wall glass behind it. The primary bathroom was probably the most reconfigured area of the house. It was originally set up as 2 separate bathrooms with a sauna right in the middle. It felt very dark, almost like 2 hallways. So we opened the entire thing up. When we were doing a renovation, when we pulled off the old mirrors, we found this really funky 70s wallpaper that was green and white ferns. So that inspired us to do the dark green fernery wallpaper that's in there now. Kept with the overall design intent of the house of doing the lacquered ceiling in there as well. It has the white terrazzo floors. We were incredibly lucky that when we pulled up the walls that were dividing the space, the terrazzo was actually right below them. So we just had to refinish the floor and just kept it exactly intact. I think the end result of this project is a house that we just absolutely adore. We love being here. It's been perfect for entertaining, perfect for the kids to have friends over, and it's just a space we enjoy every day.
Studio Thomas James varies greatly. One thing that you're always going to see is a lot of attention to relating back to the architecture, a lot of work on the architecture in the very early stages of the project to sort of get the bones right. Scale and proportion are kind of the unifying elements that are always present in our projects. I'm Philip Vanderford, the principal designer at Studio Thomas James. Our firm is based in Dallas, Texas, and we really do work all over the world. Today, we're at one of our clients' houses. The fun thing about this particular project, it's actually the 4th house that we've done for this particular client. But they needed like really casual places for the family to like have fun and that were indicative of their young children. But then they also needed their grown-up entertaining spaces and then transitional spaces that were for like just a casual evening. So we really had 3 sort of dynamics that we were working with in this house. The client has a great backdrop. They have a really, really deep and interesting collection of art. The house is really beautiful when we first installed, but it's just kind of this continued evolution that's really, really makes this particular project, I think, special. We were able to change some things about the architecture, detailing both on the interior and the exterior that made it really specific to their needs. You actually see the entry from the street. So we wanted a piece of art here that really gave a lot of power. And so we ended up finding this Donald Martini piece that was in a really bright, saturated red. We created this wall-hung console that we executed in marble. And then we had a local rug maker here do a custom rug for us in a complementary black and white motif. So for the living room, we primarily were going for like an adult entertainment space. Iconic modern pieces mixed in with custom to get the exact scale right. And then we also mixed in art and sculptural pieces as well. A Ralph Lauren piece that's done in unlacquered brass, and it has a deep ink colored navy. Custom walnut cocktail tables that we made just to get the scale perfect for the space. And then we also had the same manufacturer make a custom walnut credenza. We've also kind of mixed in iconic modern pieces, a beautiful print done by a British photographer that's kind of a playful moment in the room. For the dining room in this home, we wanted to bring some pieces over from their previous home. And so we actually had done this burl dining table for a previous residence. The Trove wallpaper, it's a really bold statement in the room. And then also with the contemporary hand-done lighting. And so we really loved how this was an opportunity to mix some like vintage finds with new pieces. For the kitchen of this project, one of the main focal points is this beautiful Anne Sachs parquet mosaic that we installed, took it all the way to the ceiling, eliminated the sort of expected upper cabinetry and replaced that with really strong, vibrant art pieces. Really made it a space that doesn't just scream kitchen. And also, you know, is a wonderful moment because you do spend so much time in the kitchen. We love the idea of giving you, you know, beautiful art as opposed to all cabinetry. And then in order to make this kitchen very functional, we sort of did this large wall of all of our sort of like function and storage and all of that sort of hidden and very secondary. And it allows you to really focus on the beautiful tile and the beautiful art. We actually did these built-in pieces with self-returning swivels. So it's actually keeps the kitchen looking perfect at all times. And they're a really big, generous scale that kind of counterbalances the large scale of the island. And so they're extremely comfortable. So this has become a favorite spot. Classic modern dining table in that, and is really played off well by this new installation of this apparatus fixture. So we actually have an important Richard Serra piece. It's not hidden in the gallery where you're not all the time. It's, you know, very front and center. And we also incorporated some beautiful Holly Hunt upholstery, which again may not be the innate knee-jerk reaction for sort of a casual lounge area, but we thought it was really, really beautiful, and we love the idea that this gets used every day. Welcome to the bar. The clients do a ton of entertaining. So we wanted a really strong, durable countertop material, and then we also wanted something elevated for the bar that had a lot of interest, but that also performed really well. So we went with this Art Deco inspired glazed porcelain by Anne Sachs. And because it being a glazed porcelain, it's extremely durable, but still has this really rich black and gold appeal. And it was such a beautiful backdrop for the contemporary graffiti art. For the office, in this instance, both clients work from home quite a bit. So we needed a space that was beautiful, but that was also quite functional. So we did custom built-ins that we created that complement the desk, that are packed full of sort of that everyday storage. And we actually had found an antique desk that was not quite the right scale and proportion for the space. So we actually custom made this particular desk based on that style and came up with something really, you know, beautiful, dramatic, and still made it functional for their needs. This color is Nightfall by Benjamin Moore. And the high gloss lacquer allows you to take a space that, or take a color that's quite dark, but because of the gloss, it actually still has a lot of light and a lot of life. And you know, we were totally into the mix in this space. We have this, you know, hand-knotted rug. We have a couple of vintage contemporary pieces. This is actually one of our most favorite spaces in the house. The homeowner really loves this space because with the opening of the doors, it just gives a great extension of the living space. And we furnished it with some beautiful Janus at Sea and Baker outdoor furnishings. We've incorporated these spun stools, little whimsical moment. We have this Twitter blue gorilla that's sort of a fun contemporary moment. So for the main powder bath, we started with this beautiful Anne Sachs mosaic. And with the scale of the space, we loved using something that was a little bit smaller and had a ton of visual impact. And we used that as a basis to create this custom wallpaper where we played with the scale of the fish and the color, and we sort of married those things together. Quite often playrooms are the last rooms that are thought of when it comes to design. The family really wanted a space that everybody could come together, and they wanted something that really felt well designed, but that also functions. We have tons of storage. We created this sectional out of indoor-outdoor fabric, so it's beautiful, but it also works really hard for them. For this media room, we worked with Illuston Systems of Dallas and created this kind of magical space. So they incorporated so much great technology into this media room, and it has this beautiful ceiling that gives the illusion of stars. So one thing that we wanted for this room is it really feel like an extension aesthetically of the rest of the house. David Hicks pattern carpet that was from Stark, and really felt like that it set off the other kind of dark black accents. Using like a really bold carpet and something that's really strong and iconic is a great way to start to layer a lot of like solids and sort of functional pieces on top of it. So we're really always cognizant of making bold choices. So for the primary bedroom, one of our jumping off points here was this beautiful smoke wallpaper from Trove. And so that was sort of the first inspiration that we pulled from. And then we did these really, really interesting bedside tables and had those done custom. Based on the scale of the space, we just needed something that was really overscaled. Lots of texture and layering going on here. Beautiful metaphors, fabric, like a heavy, rich wool textured carpeting. And then that really is a great backdrop for some of the contemporary art pieces. Blue and white porcelain that we actually had brought over from a previous property that we had done together. With the volume of space in these big, beautiful windows looking right out in the pool, it's just sort of a magical moment and just feels really, really wonderful. And the way it's tucked around in the corner of the house, it really kind of creates this like great private oasis. For the primary bathroom in this house, we really wanted something that was a really special moment. So in looking for tile, we resourced this beautiful cube mosaic from Ann Sachs that's built up of a collection of Katia marble. It really is this sort of like beautiful, unexpected moment. And we decided to take the material all the way through into the shower, on the back accent wall of the shower, up on the ceiling of the shower. And I think that's what really kind of makes this sort of this dramatic moment in setting an accent marble into the backsplash, just to kind of play off that mixture of materials and play off the floor. We also had this tub done by Victoria and Albert. And so it also kind of played into our black and white tile and the tension between those two materials. What I like about this particular project is we have contemporary moments, clean moments, we have textural moments. It's not really overly slated in any particular design direction, so it feels natural and very easy with a bit of evolution.
Clients describe our work as unique. We try really hard to make sure every home looks different from the previous home. With curated interiors, you're always going to see pattern, plays off texture. When we accessorize, we tend to under-accessorize and use overscaled items. We love to play with scale. We think it adds interest to an interior, but we do like to simplify our accessories, and we love good art. My name is Kara Adam with Kara Adam Interiors. I'm the principal and founder of Kara Adam Interiors. We are based in Dallas, Texas. We do projects all over the United States. Today we're in Dallas, Texas. We are in a project that we worked on from the ground up. They're a family with 3 small children, 2 big dogs, and they didn't want anything too intimidating. We added unique, sometimes contemporary little pieces and kind of pushed the envelope, which I think adds the interest. This house was specifically designed to entertain. When you come in, you can feel the flow. It's a very large foyer that bleeds into a great room in the back. For the entry, we wanted something larger. We wanted a large space. When people came in, we didn't want it to feel cramped, but we also wanted there to be a cozy side. And so by adding the paneling to the walls, we were able to warm up this foyer. We wanted a marble floor. We went back and forth on what to do here. We ended up with a charcoal and white marble mix. We wanted there to be a little seating moment, and actually people do sit on this little settee that we had custom made for this space during parties. Lastly, we definitely wanted to highlight the art collection to the second level, and we have art pieces up there as well. The staircase is one of my favorite elements in the house. We wanted to mix brass and bronze. It gives a little bit of a contemporary touch, and then we added this custom Stark runner, probably one of our favorite runners we've ever done. So the client wanted a really traditional feel for this house. We have matching arches on both sides of the foyer, one going to the formal living room and one going to the dining room. We love, love, love molding, we love paneling. It's a great way to add layers to a home so it feels like it's been there longer, it's not so new. We mocked up tons of molding samples before we came up with what we ended up doing. We did a plaster ceiling and then added additional molding and have our can lights within the molding. And then once you come into the dining room, you see this beautiful Fromental wallpaper, and everything looks fabulous when you put it on this wall. Like, all the art looks great, and it really complements everything in the room. We worked with the architect and designed a completely custom mantle here, which I think could not look any better in this space. And it balances the scales just right. One unique feature of this room is this was their original sideboard. We have very few original pieces from their first house before this house, but this is one of them, and I think it's really fun to incorporate pieces that clients owned before in their new homes. This is the living room. It's balanced off the dining room on the other side of the foyer. And what's so unique about the living room is they wanted spaces that they could enjoy if it was just she and her husband sitting in here, or if it was a larger group. So we've designed two seating areas, one on this side and one also facing the fireplace. They are connected by a double sofa. The sofa is just one big sofa that we had custom designed. And then we had to do custom designed side tables with brass edging that are a little bit longer and deeper, so they're the depth almost of two sofas. In this room, we took the same plaster that we have in the dining room ceiling, and we did all the walls in that plaster. Again, the same fireplace you see in the dining room. Again, this is all balancing out a house that has that traditional feel, and when you do traditional homes, you see a lot of balance like this. People come into our homes and they're like, oh my gosh, I've never seen anything like that. We try really hard to give each person a look that is conducive to what they're asking for, but also unique and kind of pushes the envelope a little. As you walk through this house, you can tell that art plays a very big role in all the interior spaces. And with all of our projects, we like to bring an art consultant to the table. And it really doesn't matter what your budget is, we just want you to buy wisely. And we never design spaces specifically for a piece of art. I truly believe all art is always in flux. Welcome to the First Floor Bar. This bar has everything. It's the perfect recipe for a fun evening. It's darker, so it's cozier. It has a growing vault ceiling, some depth to it, and you can see the variation in the gray and the plaster in the ceiling. This is the bar that I found inspiration in Amsterdam for. And you can see everything has been custom cut for this bar. It's all reeded with this beautiful texture. We added a Waterworks custom cut backsplash. We have a wine fridge, we have drink refrigerators. So it is ready for the ultimate party. Everything has that kind of different, unique feel. We've got this iCat, which is a little unexpected. It's a little bolder than some of the other colors you see in the house. My rule of thumb is for powder baths, more, more, more. You can never have enough layers. This is an Elatisse wallpaper. It is actually a fabric, and the fabric is a pleated fabric, so it has a texture. Antique Venetian light fixture, an antique mirror. Then we have a custom cut marble floor. As we go into the great room, this is the back half of the house, right off the bar. And one of my favorite features that the architect came up with is to have these little inglenook spaces, which is something you see typically in English tutors. It is so cool, draws attention during parties. We have a massive space for you to sit in, but then on the other side of this space, we've created a more intimate seating arrangement with 4 chairs and a large ottoman. And all of this feeds into our kitchen back here. This kitchen is obviously a white kitchen with beautiful white marble countertops. This is all a custom cut, water jet cut backsplash. And then in this kitchen, we have multiple dishwashers because of the fact that this client loves to entertain. We have one on each side of the sink. We have all Sub-Zero products, 2 sinks. This sink's ideal because it's right behind your stove should you need it for anything. I love a white kitchen because it's a color that's never gonna go out of style, it's not gonna be trendy, and it's always gonna look clean and fresh. When you have a large kitchen, everything is bigger. We have bigger bar stools, we have a much larger light fixture. We are able to hand select all of our finishes. We were also able to scale the fixture to be the exact size we wanted for the space. The kitchen opens up to their morning room. This is where the family spends the majority of their time. They eat most of their meals as a family right here at this table. In the mornings or in the afternoons, you can always find them sitting in these chairs, hanging out, catching up. The catering kitchen was one of our favorite places to design. We worked with their personal caterer, and they gave us a list of the equipment that they needed to throw the ideal party. And then we took it to the next level. We still wanted it to be a beautiful space, so we designed these custom brass shelves, and we did waterworks tile on the back, and it covers all the walls in the entire space. So we joke that they can, throw spaghetti sauce on the walls and we're not worried about it. Additionally, when we were working with the caterer, we went to different commercial kitchen supplies, and we picked out all of the dishes and the serving trays and everything, so nothing is ever served on anything that we haven't selected for any party in this house. In here we have a ton of refrigeration. We also have this really cool feature, and it has trays just stacked. These trays are used when they're making small past hors d'oeuvres, and they keep them all in here, and then they open them up and they set them on some of whichever tray they're using that night to serve them for parties. You will notice there's no dishwasher or anything for cleaning in here. All of that is housed in the garage, so we keep all of the dirty during a party outside of the house. We call this area the basement bar. As you can see, it's a lot more than just a bar. We have a seating area with a large TV to watch sports. We have a table for games. And lastly, we have a very large walk-in wine cellar right here. The leather you see on these chairs here is extremely unique and very reminiscent of a Bottega bag. It's all hand woven. The ceiling has, again, the growing vault, and all the walls are the Venetian plaster in here as well. We recently wallpapered the entire area in this gorgeous Philip Jeffries grass cloth. Honestly, it really cozies up this space. This is a very large space, as you can see, and it adds just one more layer of texture down here. One thing we're getting more requests for are golf simulator rooms. They're super fun. They're interactive for a family or for friends. In this particular one, we have a Brent Wadden. We've also put plexiglass in front of it in case your golf club goes the wrong direction. We did custom marble high tops in here in case someone wants a front row seat to the latest golf game. The best part about a golf simulator room is you can do it in heels. The exterior is truly an extension of the home. The kids can run out of the pool house and jump in the pool. For the outdoor furniture, we have used all Janus at Sea. We've got chaise lounges, we've got an awesome fire pit with multiple chairs around it. We have 2 seating areas on either side here, as well as a seating area by the putting green. The pool house has huge sliding doors that we open on a regular basis, and it allows parties to flow inside and outside. There's a shuffleboard table in there for the kids. A lot of times the adults play on it too. We have a big storage closet in there, which has actually been very helpful. That's where we keep a lot of the pool toys so that they're not always out and about. And a wonderful kitchen bar area. So when there is a big party, you can easily put a bartender behind it, and it's a great space. We did add a small seating area right off the kitchen for the family primarily to use. There's a grill, and they can all hang out as a family here. This was a sport court, and their son, who is now in first grade, absolutely adores basketball as well. So this is kind of their little play area. The covered patio presented some challenges. This is an extremely large space, but we wanted dining areas. So what we did is we created 2 dining tables, one for when it's just the family, and a second one for when they have guests over as well. The end result for us was we created a very cozy, comfortable family home in a very large space. When people come, they always say, oh, it's just so comfortable and enjoyable and not too fancy that you don't want to sit down and have a glass of wine and catch up with someone.
Hello, my name is Benjamin Johnston, and I'm here in Houston, Texas. I'm delighted to welcome you into my home. Come on this way. My name is Benjamin Johnston, and I am a designer based here in Houston, Texas, with an architecture and interiors practice. We work all over the world, and we've worked everywhere from LA to London to Mexico, and we really enjoy what we're able to create for and with our clients. This project really started with us acquiring the land. When we found this lot in a historic area of the Heights, Houston, we really used our home as a laboratory to show off what our architecture and design team could do, challenging ourselves to do things that our clients might not necessarily allow us to do because it was too visually daring or because it was too expensive to pull off. And we had a lot of fun not only designing it, but then also constructing it as well. This home is inspired by Hollywood Regency, which is a design movement that I hold near and dear to my heart. It references the Regency period of the late 1800s, early 1900s. It also references Art Deco influences from the 1920s and 30s, and then of course the mid-century 1960s and 70s influence as well. We approached the architecture of the house to be very classic and curated. Then we really infused it with a lot of personality with our modern art collection and furnishings. We always use certain words to describe our work. We always say it's got to be classic, it's got to be curated, and it's got to be very cool. One of our clients also described our work as being very intentional. We really do think through every little aspect of the design to make sure it's a really beautiful storytelling experience. I think clients hire our firm because we're known for excellence. Whether we're doing architecture or interiors, we bring excellence not only in the design, but also in the service that we provide our clients. We are adept at full-scale architecture and interiors. We call it total architecture. We decided to add architecture to our list of services probably about 5 years ago, and it was a really organic outgrowth of what our clients were asking for us to do. We'd always done interior design with a focus on architecture and crafting the space around our clients and personalizing it through the architectural shell. So when it came to kind of making the leap and saying, you know what, we are capable of doing ground up construction and doing significant remodels, it was really an opportunity that felt very natural for us to grow into that realm of services. Here in our entryway, we have a gorgeous light fixture from Studio Glustine out of Paris, and it's just a really, really beautiful, unique piece that I absolutely love and really creates a statement from the moment you walk in the door. Overscaled over this fantastic foyer table by Cachet, and it is a reproduction of a piece that was originally part of the Helena Rubinstein estate. And so it's just a really beautiful piece with the brass in the mirror and the Aigle Musée top. This entire room has been paneled with fluting. I absolutely love the way it turned out. We spent a lot of time to make sure that the fluting starts at one whole flute and even ends in a perfect flute at the corner. And then same thing on all the different portals into the various spaces in our home. So it took a lot of time and attention to make that detail possible. Welcome into our very special lounge. I'm super excited about this space. It's one of my favorite spaces in the house, and I'm delighted to share it with you. This lounge was really entirely designed around this fabulous painting by Israeli artist Gilad Efrat. And we actually saw this painting when we were in Israel. It just so happened it became available and we purchased it, and we based the entire color scheme of this room around that painting. It has the incredible, beautiful blues and yellows, and this painter has a really interesting way of sculpting through paint. So he does layers and layers of paint, and he sculpts away and revealing different colors along his journey through the piece. To complement this, we actually used Sherwin-Williams 9185 Mareja Baja as the paint color, and it just bathes the entire room in a beautiful kind of rich blue-green that I absolutely love, and it is just a really special space in our home. This is called the Gaia sofa, and this is one of my all-time favorite pieces that I've designed that is this incredibly comfortable, lounging, curved sofa that sits like a traditional sofa. I just absolutely love the sinuous curves, and I love it in this gorgeous off-white fabric. Another really special piece in this room is actually this coffee table by Jan de Savage. He's a Belgian artist who utilizes brass and sodalite and resin to create this incredible vortex coffee table. It's a really an artisan-made piece that I absolutely adore. And it sits on top of one of my rugs from Madison Lily Rugs. So I love the way that this rug kind of ombres diagonally. So it progresses from that kind of same blue-green color that's on the walls all the way to black here in the corner. We found these fantastic vintage Dongia chairs and had it upholstered in this gorgeous leather. A special feature in this room are these gorgeous bookshelves that we have displayed our collection of antique Lotz glass. It's a Czechoslovakian maker of art glass, and I just love the way it shimmers with all the lighting we brought into this room. So we have the beautiful LED concealed lighting on each shelf, and then above us we have this beautiful library light that sits above, mounted to the wall, and it kind of casts light all the way down the front of the bookshelf. And this particular light is from Visual Comfort. Let me introduce you to my favorite pet. He is very well behaved. He never barks. He doesn't even need to be let out to use the restroom. I mean, he's kind of the perfect pet. Come on with me into the heart of our home, which is this beautiful atrium space. It is flooded with natural light and can be really sectioned off from the front entry of the house through these gorgeous portiere curtains that we've done out of Holland and cherry wool and a beautiful trim along the leading edge. Come on this way. In the center of the space, we have a fantastic little sociable, or a modern interpretation of a sociable. When we're entertaining, this piece really serves multi-functions. It can be sat on to face either the kitchen or into the living room. And if you have a cocktail in your hand, you can put it on one of my bonito tables. Welcome to our family room. This space is a large space, and it has various seating pieces. But the thing that I'm also really excited about is its view to the outside. The incredible bronze sculpture sitting above our pool is from French artist Jacques Lebescond, and it's a solid bronze, and then actually the faces move kinetically. So it's a really great piece to have in your yard. Here in our space, we have a variety of furniture. A lot of it is pieces that I've designed, either as one-offs or also as part of my collection with Chaddock Furniture. You can see this gorgeous sofa sectional that is called the Bruno sectional. We've done it in some great performance fabric, so as we are entertaining in the space, we're never worried about it. And this fabric is the latest in fiber technology. It's called a Q2 fabric, and you can literally pour nail polish all over this and get the nail polish out of this fabric. So again, great performance, allows us to have a more casual lifestyle in this space. We also have these great little cuff tables that we designed as part of that collection, and this incredible side table piece that is rounded so you don't end up hurting yourself by running into it as you walk around the piece. In this space, we also have another great artist. We have a piece by Alex Cowenberg that is 11 feet long and 7 feet tall. It's a massive piece of art. And he's a street artist based in California, and he does these kind of really beautiful paintings that I really enjoy. And you can see it right above our sofa. We've also got a mix of new and vintage pieces of lighting. So we have these great little table lamps that were designed by Kelly Wersler for visual comfort. We also have this incredible mobile light fixture from John Pomp, which is above us. And then we have some great vintage sconces that you can see on either side of the painting. Coming into our kitchen is a really dramatic space. This was a particular kitchen that we didn't have the benefit of having a window in. And so we utilized a very large window that's in our family room and the skylight that's above us to flood the space with natural light. In addition to that, we really added in lots of layers of architectural and decorative lighting into our kitchen. The entire kitchen is a U shape, and it's all centered around this gorgeous island we designed for the space. And it was really inspired by an old altar that you might see in a church. So you'll see it has an incredible fluted base, and it has this massive marble top that seems to kind of cantilever out at all angles and float above the herringbone floor. So a really unique feature in the space. You'll also notice that it's made out of Nero Marquina stone, and a lot of people will see all the stone on the island and on the backsplash and on the countertops, and they'll say, oh my gosh, you must never use your kitchen because I never see any stains on your kitchen counters. The truth is that we have this marble treated with the latest material treatment technology, and what they do is they grind down the stone, they put a resin product on the stone, and they use a black light to cure it. And this makes it completely stain-proof and etch-proof from any of the kind of household items that might cause that. You can spill pasta sauce all over this, you could spill red wine all over this, and you still have a gorgeous-looking countertop. In order to keep this symmetrical, we have balanced the wine fridges and beverage fridges on that side with these large 36-inch column refrigerators that is refrigerator on the right and freezer on the left. It provides a lot of great storage for your produce as well as for any of the other things like your white wine that you're wanting to keep super chilled. On our way back to the catering kitchen, I want to show you also another little jewel box space. So we actually have our pantry right here between the kitchen and the catering kitchen, and we've utilized this fun Ansax tile here on the floor. And I love the way it plays with the green on the cabinetry, as well as this fantastic gilded paper that's from Carlisle collection, and it's just such a great mix of materials. When we're entertaining and we're wanting to keep the main kitchen kind of spot free, we'll come back into the catering kitchen, and this really allows us to do any of the prep work that we need to do here in this space without making a mess. Whereas the main kitchen is light and bright, we wanted to go dark and sexy here in the catering kitchen. We started really as inspiration with this gorgeous tile. This is called the Katia Mosaic, Cube Mosaic from Ansax. And I love the way it almost has this optical illusion here on the floor. And we use that as inspiration for our countertop selection as well as our wall stones. So we use this incredible granite. This is actually granite, although it looks like a panda marble, and it's completely etch and stain resistant. One of the other fun things that we did was in our backsplash, we hid all of our plugs. So you actually have 6 convenience plugs that are here in the backsplash, and they've been faux painted in order to just blend away. So we're here on the second floor of our home, and I am delighted to share with you our primary bedroom. Come on with me. One of my favorite pieces in this bedroom is this art from Shozu Nagano. This is actually a painting from the 80s, and I love the kind of sculptural shape of the canvas. And I also really love this piece by Benny Katz, which has this kind of subtle, supple curves. It's a kind of a wall sculpture as well, and I just love the dimension it provides to the room. Another of my favorite pieces is actually this daybed that I designed for Chaddock. It's called the Marco daybed. I was really having such trouble finding an interesting daybed that could fit at the end of a bed or in a hallway or even a living room. And what I love about it is that we kind of tectonically pulled it apart. So you have these kind of floating arms to the side and a floating back, and it has these 4 sexy shoulders that kind of peek out at all 4 corners. And I love to say that when used in a bedroom, if you're a pet owner, it is like the world's most luxurious dog bed. So it's a really fantastic piece for a lot of different types of spaces. This piece behind me is from artist Cecil Touchon. It's a great piece for a bedroom. And a lot of times people are surprised that we put some fine art in our bedroom, but I always think that you should enjoy art where you live. We're happy to live with art even in what many people would consider a secondary space. We've even put art in our bathrooms and our water closets. Art is everywhere, and it's a really fun thing to surprise people with when they see it for the first time. I really enjoy revealing our primary bathroom. It's completely monochromatic, but still incredibly exciting. So I'm gonna open up these doors like I do for our guests and reveal the primary bathroom. In this space, we really designed it around this incredible mosaic that you can see on the floor. And it's made out of 3 different tones of marble. And it's again, a collaboration that we did with Ann Sachs. So we sent them our floor plan, and then they did a first pass at laying out the tile. And then we fine-tuned the arrangement until we got the perfect design that really speaks to all the different programmatic areas in the room. So when we laid out this bathroom, we laid it out with 2 kind of lavatories on either side, split by the window and this gorgeous tub in front of it. And then opposite that, we have our curbless shower. So this floor pattern seamlessly blends into the shower. And then on either side, we have 2 water closets, and one of them has one of my favorite things, which is a urinal. Our primary suite flows organically from the bedroom into the bathroom, and then finally here into the closet. We custom designed this closet to really be a way of keeping organized and getting ready for our days. Instead of having all of our clothing on display, we opted for more of a wardrobe design. All of our clothes kind of sits behind all of these great panels where we have all of our clothes just kind of very cleanly organized. So on all of these closet doors, we actually inset wall covering. So we have this gorgeous Philip Jeffries wall covering set into the paneling and fantastic hardware as well. And as you open up this particular wardrobe, you can see our shoes, and it's a great way of keeping them clean and organized and dust-free by having them behind the wardrobe doors. Another of our favorite features is these valet hooks. We've designed valet hooks throughout the entire closet, and it allows me to, when I'm picking out an outfit, I can pick out my jacket, I can pick out my shirt, I can pick out my pants, and I can kind of see it assembled as an outfit right there on the hooks. And we've done these valet hooks kind of around the entire closet. Another fun detail that we added was this gorgeous polished stainless steel air register. So in many cases throughout their home, we've done a linear slot diffuser, but to add some character and some charm, there are certain spaces like this one where we've done these gorgeous polished stainless steel register grills. Gallery walls can always be tricky, but I always think that the style of the collection of pieces really dictates how you want to display them. In this particular case, because all of the size of the photographs were consistent, it really lent itself to doing a very grid-like arrangement of those pieces on this gallery wall. Rodney Smith was a New York photographer working primarily in the 80s and 90s, and he's really known for his almost surrealist style of black and white photography. The style of Rodney Smith's photography has really had a huge impact on creatives and directors. So you can see the influence of Rodney Smith and famous directors like Wes Anderson in some of his films, who is also a Houston native and who went to my high school. For all the main public spaces in our home, we really kept the palette quite neutral. However, in side spaces, which we can sometimes call our nighttime spaces, we really explored a lot of color. So here in the atrium, we kept everything very monochromatic, and it really creates this graphic Fornacetti-like quality. One of the things that we really want to impress upon people who come to our home is what the experience is like to live with modern art. And it doesn't just have to be kind of two-dimensional arts, paintings, photography. It can also be something sculptural. One of the other special artist installations that we have in our home is this fabulous sculpture by French artist John Cornu. We sourced this through a gallery in Germany, and we're so excited about the juxtaposition it provides between the very kind of buttoned up neoclassical architectural shell and this really modernist installation here on the wall. During the holidays, we get to take advantage of this huge 30-foot space here at the heart of our home, and we put a gorgeous Christmas tree that's nearly 14 feet tall right here in the center, and we cover it with chandelier parts. It's a really magical display. This room in our home was originally supposed to be our gym, but who wants to work out anyway? So we converted it to a library of sorts, and it houses all of our incredible art books that we've been collecting for many decades. What we have here is kind of a lounge area. It's really meant to kind of be able to sit and relax on one of my sofa designs, and then be able to pull a book off the shelf and be able to put your feet up and again, get inspired. So that's really what this room is all about. We've also created this incredible impression of almost rusticated stone here on our walls using one of my wall covering designs for S. Harris. And it's a kind of a trompe-l'oeil. It looks like it is made out of grass cloth, but it's actually a printed design that really looks almost like straw marquetry as well. So I just love the impact that it gives to the space. Step into our laundry room, which is one of my favorite rooms in the house, mainly because I absolutely love the wall covering that we utilized on the wall, which is a Cole & Sons pattern called Miami, and I love its kind of MC Escher-like quality that speaks to the Ansax floor that we also put into this space. It has 3 tones of marble, and it's a really fun, unique pattern. Here on this side, we obviously have our area where we can do our hand washing, and then we have our washer dryer here on the other side. But it's a small, compact room, but still a lot of fun. I think the sum result of this home is a home that I really don't ever want to leave. I joked throughout this entire process that this was a house I was going to go out feet first. And it is a home that I still feel very confident I'm going to be in for all of my foreseeable future.